your 1-year-old dog over the fence with other canines. And then what, you just stood there?
No, I ran, but I do remember the noises the dog made, and
Why did you run after you threw the canine over, well, Shadow over the fence? Probation, this is an application. Court is calling 2024 CR 5756, State of Texas versus Xavier Rene Martinez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Carahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Leslie Sahalovich, Mr. Martinez.
And are you Xavier Martinez?
yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Martinez, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez, did you review what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with cruelty to non-livestock? That's a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand, if you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He has.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is.
Mr. Martinez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $2,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, it is.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Off the record. Is Hickman out? Can you have Hickman brought up, Deputy? Her attorney's on Zoom. We're back on the record. Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
There you are.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 7 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 250 hours of community service restitution, and no ownership of any animals. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. City Exhibit 12,
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so, how old was Shadow?
Still a little over a year.
So he's a year, which, is that still considered a puppy?
In age, I may assume he was still grown. He was pretty grown, but in age, I assume he was a puppy.
All right, so he's a puppy. So what were you saying to your puppy before you threw him in a fence with other dogs to be killed by them?
Nothing, at the time of the moment of what I did, I was under the influence of a lot of drugs at the time, and I wasn't in the right mindset, and
No, it says here, a male pedestrian walking his dog, that's you, began yelling at it and then tossed it over the fence.
I can't remember a lot of that time.
Mhm.
I know what I did, and I can't remember some of the moments in between leading up to it and after it.
So what do you remember? So you throw your 1-year-old dog over the fence with other canines. And then what? You just stood there?
No, I ran, but I do remember the noises the dog made, and
Why did you run after you threw the canine over, well, Shadow over the fence?
there was nothing I could do after that. What I did was done.
Because of what?
There was nothing I could do after that. What I did was done. I just made the choice, the horrible choice to do that. And what I did was done, so I just ran and had to listen to her whine and yelp.
I'm sorry, what?
I just ran and I had to listen to her whine and yelp all the way back to my house.
Yeah, because, so you knew there were other dogs in that, behind that fence.
Yes,
All right, because it says here that you told the police you didn't know there were other dogs, but it appears that you purposely walked the dog to that address. Do you have any children?
oh man,
Have you had employment?
it's not. I was working as a helper with this man. They were giving me a lot of construction work to help him do a lot of things.
And who were you living with?
I was living with just by myself with most of the time, and my girlfriend.
All right, you really shouldn't have a girlfriend. I can't force you not to have a girlfriend, but there are other issues that you probably need to be working on. Does your girlfriend have children?
Not
So who was living in the house with you and your girlfriend?
sleeping, Shadow, another dog,
And what?
and another dog.
Okay, Shadow, and what's the other dog's name?
Nessia,
Nessa?
Nessia.
Nessia? All right. So why didn't you take Nessia on this walk with you?
I don't know. Like I said, I was under the influence of a lot of different drugs, and I wasn't mentally competent at the time that whole day.
And what type of dog is Nessa?
It was
Nessia.
It was a pit bull.
All right, so you have a pit bull and Shadow was staff.
It was that.
Yes.
It was a pit lab, I believe.
All right. And how did you come to be the owner of Shadow?
I bought him off of a neighbor.
Mhm. Everybody's just selling their dogs to anybody without checking anything. Had Shadow had any shots?
Not that I know of.
No. Have you ever had any mental health issues?
It's not,
What?
bipolar, depression, anxiety, ADHD, some manic disorders.
Have you ever been on any medications?
It's not.
What medications?
Right now, I'm taking the Prexa. I just recently got on it last week. I was supposed to be on Lexapro, but for some reason, they're not giving it to me. And Abilify. And throughout my lifetime, I've been on a lot of different medications.
And how far did you go in school?
Up to ninth grade, I couldn't get back into school because of the CPS and all that, and just homelessness just bouncing around.
All right, and how old are you?
20.
All right, and what's with all the tattoos on the face? What's that about?
Oh, when I was 16, I was really bad on drugs at the time, and I was just in a motel room, really high, and my dad left the tattoo gun and ink, and I tied myself up, my face and my arms, and I've been trying to get it. I went to get it removed once, and I'm planning to go again to get it completely removed on my face and on my hands and arms.
Okay. All right, is there anything else I should know about you?
Just what I did with that dog. And I don't want to sound full of it, but it hurts me a lot when I think about it. I try to shake the thoughts of what I did. Regardless what I did, I actually cared a lot about that animal. Uh, I love that dog. Hearing the sounds it made, haunt me for the rest of my life. When I think about the time I used to play with it, it's gonna hurt my soul. It's gonna hurt me deep down in my heart that I did a horrible act that can't come back. And just gotta take it up with God from here on forth with that.
All right, this is what court is gonna do. Court is gonna sentence you to 8 years deferred adjudication. There's to be a MIOF evaluation and a felony drug court evaluation and TAP evaluation. That's gonna take place in custody. And we'll do felony drug court evaluation first because have a very quick turnaround. If he's not accepted into felony drug court, then it's you to follow the TAP recommendations. There's to be no contact with minors until further notice. There's to be no contact with animals until further notice. 250 hours of community service restitution. I'm gonna order you to get your GED or either go to some type of trade school. Once that's completed, his community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be a $2,500 fine that will be probated. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. The UA hotline until further notice. 120 sober support meetings in 120 days. Field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Have you ever been to prison or TYC, what they used to call TYC?
No, man.
All right. Have you had any contact with your mom or your father in recent years?
My mom and my dad are here.
I'm sorry,
My mom and my dad are here.
you say in jail?
No.
All right. So probation, is there any type of trauma therapy for him? I know it seems as though I'm giving you a lot of programs to complete, but you need a lot.
I want to.
Okay. So we could set up some type of, I know that I'm asking for the mental health evaluation, but he's also probably going to need some sort of trauma therapy. He's probably going to need a counselor for the CPS issues that brought him into the government sphere. Also the trauma issues in regards to Shadow. The fact that his parents are at the Bexar County Jail while he's at the Bexar County Jail. Do you have any siblings? Sisters and brothers?
I do, but my dad was real violent with his baby mama, so she doesn't allow me to see his kids, so I haven't seen my sister and my brothers.
All right, so we have that to deal with as well. Probation, is there anything else he needs? I'm sorry, what? All right, we'll do pause education course. All right, anything else? From probation?
No.
Is there anything else you need from the court?
I don't know.
Is there a way I could do a program or some way get into Haven for Hope or Oxford House?
Oh, they're gonna see if they can place you somewhere. What's gonna end up happening is you're gonna be evaluated for felony drug court. If felony drug court accepts you, then felony drug court will speak to you about housing and everything. All right? All right, did you review the trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
It's not.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. I know there's a lot of programs I just dumped on you, but you need a lot of help, right? So do not get overwhelmed by the programs. Just work the programs mentally, internally, so you can improve. Do you understand?
It's not.
Do not just throw your hands up. Do not disappear. Because what you're looking at, if a motion to revoke were filed, is 10 years in the prison. Now, if there's an issue, let your officer know. If you feel as though you're not able to get in touch with your officer, or you still are not receiving the answers, you can always come back to the court and you can talk to me. You understand?
It's not.
All right, good luck to you.
One more last thing. I don't have a birth certificate. I don't have a social ID. I've never had an ID. So is there any way probation can help me get all that so I could be?
Well, let me ask you this. I used to do child protective services cases. Did you age out of the child protective services system? By that, I mean, did your parents ever retain custody of you?
No,
All right, were you ever adopted?
yes, when I was younger, yes.
All right, so when you were adopted, that person should have your birth certificate and all of that information. If they don't want to give it to you, or if they're saying they don't have it, the people who should have it is your child protective services worker. And counsel, if you go next door to CPS court, the one with the green rooftop on the second floor, they will be able to direct you the easiest way to get your birth certificate, your social security card. Okay? All right, court is going to go on the record. Court is calling night mag number 753-623, 753-624, State of Texas versus Ray De La Rosa. That party is announced for the record for the state.
Zach Dunn for the state, Your Honor.
Attorney John Garcia for response for defendant, Your Honor.
All right, and are you Ray De La Rosa?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is in receipt of a third motion to modify terms of bond release. State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion?
Yes, and defense and I spoke, Your Honor.
All right, and state, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, state's ready, Your Honor.
State, are you in agreement with the motion?
No, Your Honor.
All right, defense, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, we do, Your Honor. We have Mr. De La Rosa's wife.
All right, Mr. De La Rosa, if you move over to the side, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, lower your hand. You're gonna need to keep your voice up so that the court reporter can hear and so that I can hear.
Okay,
If you do not speak up, then your testimony is for naught because I cannot hear you. Do you understand?
yes,
All right, state your name for the record.
Herlinda Corte,
All right, and spell your name, please.
HERLINDA ALCORTA.
All right, everyone, we're on the record. You need to whisper. Defense, your witness.
Yes, okay, you're the complainant in the two cases against your husband that we're asking for a bond modification for no to be changed from no contact to no harmful or injurious contact, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and you feel that affidavit's a non-prosecution in both those cases?
yes, sir.
Okay, and you have no problem with that motion being approved by the judge, correct?
No, sir.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Just one clarification question. Ma'am, you came by the 5th floor of the Cadena Reef Center to drop off the aforementioned affidavit of non-prosecution, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you told the person at the front window that you were with your brother, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but does your brother have a similar Jesus tattoo on his
No.
left arm?
No, my brothers have tattoos. They
Does he
all-
have a Jesus tattoo on his left arm?
My brothers have
Your
Jesus,
Honor,
but not, they have Jesus on. They have bottom and top.
So my final question is, did you show up with the defendant or did you show up with your brother?
No, with my brother. I have not seen Mr. Ray de la Rosa since last year.
No further questions.
All right, any other questions?
no, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Defense, Mr. De La Rosa, you can say. Any other witnesses?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from defendant, Your Honor.
All right. State? You're
Yes, Your Honor.
opposed?
I apologize, Your Honor.
You're opposed?
Yes, Your Honor, we are opposed.
All right, for
Yeah.
what reason?
We have good reason to believe that they actually showed up together to drop off the MP, which is of course a violation of the no contact order. And I think the state's position is clear only in that when you're awaiting 5 indictments and 6 cases total, we believe it's just in the best interest of community safety to not lift this, Your Honor, so that is why the state's opposed.
All right, defense?
Your Honor, my client has been following the bond conditions. He hasn't had any problems for the last 5.5 months. His wife has filed 2 affidavits of non-prosecution. She has no problem with the modification being changed from no contact to no harmful or injurious contact. My client is an older person and his spouse is an older person. They would like to be together.
How old is your client?
60.
Okay, that's not old.
I don't feel it's old. Now that you say it, I don't
yeah.
feel it's old. But we're asking if you could please allow for that bond modification, Your Honor.
All right, so here's my question. He has 2 cases before the court. Nightmag number 753623. What is the charge in that case?
So fortunately, the system only pulls up the grand jury numbers, Your Honor, so I have to click into each one. I apologize.
No problem.
There's a myriad of assault seconds, so I'm gonna,
Well,
Just some.
this is what I want clarification on. The 2 cases that he's before the court now, asking that he be allowed contact with his spouse. Are those assault family second cases?
is one, go ahead, go ahead, counsel.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Is one of them 753623?
Yes.
That's an assault second.
And the other is 753624.
753624, Your Honor, is a violation of protective order assault stop.
All right, so now this is my next question. In each of those cases, who is the complainant? I'm assuming the complainant and the cause number ending in 23 is his wife?
Yes, Your Honor.
And who's the complainant and the cause number ending in 24?
Linda as well.
His wife?
His wife is his spouse as well, Your Honor.
All right. So your motion is denied. Is there anything else?
Yeah. Does the district attorney have a time frame about when the cases will be invited or?
Oh, you'll have to speak to them about that. All right, your motion is denied. Is there anything else?
Nothing present from the court, Your Honor.
All right. We can go off the record. So, Mr. De La Rosa, you have 2 cases. In both of the cases, your wife is the complainant.
She's not the one that complained, it was her sister. Her
Mhm.
sister's the one that complained, she's the one that called out a person. I wasn't even present.
Well, maybe your sister, well, here's the thing. Maybe your sister-in-law will come down and testify.
I hope she does.
Yes. All right, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, Deputy Laura, on Guadalupe Espinoza, can you let her know her attorney is ill? And so we're going to recall this, Norma, recall it for 2 weeks. And if you'll let her know if her attorney is able to come in sooner, we'll have her brought over sooner.
I can do July 9th.
All right, so let her know, we'll recall her for July 9th. What page is she on?
She's on the first page, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, Lucy Rodriguez. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning. All right, so where are we on this case?
So state could not find the file for this case with the advocate, our advocate's out this week. I asked another advocate to look for the file and they just got back to me that they could not find this, so I apologize, I'm not sure administratively what's happening here. Either way, even if we were able to find the file, Your Honor, I am unsure if we have the CPS records for this case, and I say that because today's my first day looking at this case. However,
Mhm.
when I looked at the records, that the printout that I saw, that I reviewed with, or that I showed to counsel, there's a DA upload or a scan from 2023,
Okay.
so a whole year ago. And I just looked through the file right now and there's no discs in there.
Okay.
So I'm a little confused, and it's with an investigator that's not ours. So I guess the bottom line is, one, I need to find the file for Lucy. And
Mhm.
two, I need to confirm that if we have CPS records for both Lucy and with Yukio.
All right. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, give me a reset date for 30 days.
Yes, ma'am.
And could I see the file on Refugio Rodriguez? Are you here for Rodriguez?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay.
Wearing a lot of hats today.
Okay,
I can do July 29th.
all right. Are you employed?
No.
All right. All right, so we'll come back on July 29th to see where we are on discovery.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
We're on it.
All right, thank you.
In which case is this, Judge?
This is Lucy Rodriguez on page 6. All right, if you'll have a seat.
Okay.
All right, Refugio Rodriguez. All right, and is it the same announcement on this case as well?
Same exact announcement, Your Honor. Yes. We have the file for this, but in either event, Your Honor, I'm gonna check on CPS today.
All right. All right, on this case, we were here for CPS records in May, so this will be the last setting for everybody to see where the CPS records are. All right, so we'll come back on July 29th. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. All right, everyone, if you have not had contact with your attorney, we're starting a jury trial at 11. So if you want to step outside, call your attorney and tell them to be here, then you're more than welcome to do so. Okay, I thought I saw Aaron and James. Were they called upstairs? No, not necessarily. I think they were sitting over in the corner, but I allow everybody to drop in and drop out because I want them to get a global experience of being in the criminal law field. But we have a court reporter here today, and she is doing real time, which I will tell you, since you want to be a court reporter, a lot of judges want court reporters to be able to do real time. So with real time, I'm able to see everything that she's putting in her system, of course, in a language that I can understand. And I like it because sometimes attorneys are whispering and it's hard to hear. And then sometimes I'm thinking, did I hear what I thought I heard? And so I'm able to look and see what she's heard because her record is the official record. So, yeah. So if you want to come around, you can come around and see what she's put in the system for me to view. So whenever you see things through my glasses, that's usually what it is. It's the real time. So when we had our hearings, she's been typing up. Yes. And so as you can see, she tells me, I'm not perfect, but I'm like, oh, here you are. So you can see everything that's being said. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 1237 and 2024 CR 1238, State of Texas versus Eric Cantu. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
for the defense?
Brian Powers, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Cantu?
Yes, sir.
All right, so the first thing we're going to take up is the state's motion to recuse. Defense, you've had a chance to review the motion to recuse.
I have, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Judge, the state is asking to be recused from this case for the aforementioned and the motion to recuse.
All right, and the court does not see or find a reason for the recusal. There are many cases that the state of Texas has here in Bexar County where you have someone who's a complainant on the case and also someone who has another case where they're the defendant. It happens many times on the and family violence cases. So the court does not see grounds for the recusal in the motion. So the grounds for recusal are denied. And for the record, state, you do not have a prosecutor from another county who's willing to accept these cases?
I personally did not do it, but I believe our office did reach out to several different surrounding counties. In fact, I believe all of them surrounding counties that are contingent to Bear County, and they were unable to accept these cases at this time, Your Honor.
All right. And off the record, in previous settings in this case, the court informed both the state and the defense that the court did not see grounds for recusal or find any grounds for the recusal. But if the state were to provide a prosecutor from any county to come in, the court would allow the recusal, but only for that reason. So the motion, there is no grounds for the recusal, and the grounds for recusal of Bear County will be denied. All right. And what is the next matter?
Your Honor, I would ask, we filed a motion not too long ago with regards to trying to modify the GPS conditions for Eric so that he is able to, while still under monitoring, to be able to participate in nonprofit events and charity events. I've provided the court today, and I've also tendered it to the state for review, a letter from his ongoing mental health therapist, Dr. Punjabi, from Brain Coach, where she, I believe, says it best as far as Eric is attempting to turn this trauma that he suffered into a positive and to try to get involved. And she believes that this would be good as going towards his mental health treatment from the trauma that he suffered.
All right. State.
The state would be opposed, Your Honor.
Right. Counsel, you'll need to bring her in as a witness. I do have the letter that it's been submitted. But if it would probably be best for you if you actually have the witness come in. They can be by Zoom if they're available by Zoom to testify.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing from the state.
All right. The next thing. Discovery. Where are we on discovery?
As far as the state has been unable to confer with me for the last few settings, given their stand. However, I believe that's going to change. So with the court's permission, I will reevaluate and go through it with the state to make sure that we have everything we are supposed to have.
All right, so we'll recall this in 30 days for discovery. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset for discovery?
I can do the 25th, Judge, July 25th.
All right, we'll be back on July 25th for discovery. And counsel, if you want this doctor to come in, state, I'm assuming you'll have no objections to the doctor appearing by Zoom?
No,
All right, just let Ms. Ferguson know and we'll put it on the docket.
Will do, Judge.
All right, we'll see you back then. Is there anything else?
nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Oh,
Right.
thanks.
Thank you. Preston Lee, come forward. All right, what we're gonna do is, we're gonna recall you back. I'm gonna give you another month reset, but your case may be solved before then.
Okay,
All right, have you been keeping up with everything you're supposed to do on PTD?
yes, ma'am. I'm just waiting for my intake.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Lee, can I have a 30-day reset, please? And it's PTD.
I can do July 25th, Judge.
All right, are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you said July when?
It's the 25th, Judge.
All right, you want to look at your schedule and see if that's a
Yep.
good time for you?
Yeah, I can get it up.
All right, so July, I'm sorry, November, what date? All right, so once you sign the reset form, you're excused. All right, thank you. Ruben Gonzalez, Ruben Xavier Gonzalez, Claudia Aaron,
Yes, Your Honor. So it's my understanding that she did not
Thank you.
respond to docket this morning.
No.
When you called, and I received a call at 8:30 this morning from her father. My office did, saying that she is in Windmill Wellness Ranch. I contacted Windmill Wellness Ranch. The message that I received was that she was checked in on Friday. Now, mind you, this is the young lady with the father that was here 2 weeks ago approximately that you reset today for a plea. I have had no contact with my client since that date because her phone was broken, if you'll recall. And so the father has been has been blocking all communications.
No, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna call, we're gonna go on the record. And if she's not here, a warrant's gonna be issued for her arrest. And if she gets here, within a reasonable time, the court will reconsider. Could I have a prosecutor, please? And could someone make an announcement in the hallway for Claudia Michelle Aaron?
I was gonna make a joke, looks like I'm the only one.
No. All right. Court is calling 2024 CR 0735, State of Texas versus Claudia Michelle Aaron. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Jody Sawyers for the defense.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 9:49 a.m. Defense, have you had any personal contact with your client?
None.
All right. Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement?
Yes, Your Honor, there's no answer.
All right, state.
State would ask for a bond forfeiture, Judge.
All right, that will be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If she makes an appearance within a reasonable time, the court will reconsider.
And Your Honor, I just want to go on record as
Yes.
communicating that I did receive a communication not from my client, but from her father, saying that she has been admitted to Windmill Wellness Ranch. I contacted them this morning. They sent me a letter saying that she apparently has admitted herself voluntarily, although I don't know if it was her or her father who did, for a 60-day program. This was never communicated with me beforehand. And so I approached the court, though, only to let the court know that I have received communications from a rehabilitation facility and letting the court know that information.
All right, she needs to be here today. And that rehabilitation center, it's the court's understanding that that's not some type of mental health issue where she needed to be admitted, correct?
It was not emergency detention, Your Honor. That's correct.
All right, thank you. All right, Norma, that's BF and remand without bond. Absidy Rosales. Good morning. Have you had any contact with your client?
It's been months.
All right. Deputy Laura?
Yes, Your Honor. For absentee,
Yes.
It's office. First office.
David Vargas?
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Great.
Happy early July 4th.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you're on this side, counsel. That's okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Zach.
Happy early July 4th to you as well. All
Yes.
right, on this case,
So Your
today is the plea deadline date.
So we are hoping for, even if it's just a couple days or whatnot, typically when we have the outstanding CPS request, when counsel comes by to view the forensic, I'm like, hey, here's your CPS, 2 for 1, just to kind of move things along. This came a couple days after counsel had already viewed the forensic. So today is when he got his CPS records. We have everything. So even if it's only a day or two or a week or whatever you're comfortable with, Your Honor, we'd love to be on the same page discovery wise, and then we can make an offer at the next setting.
There's been no offer at this point. We got to review these still.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, recall this for the week of July 22nd. You'll need to be prepared to tender an offer.
Absolutely, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Judge.
I can do the 23rd.
All right, you'll come back on July 23rd. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank
Have a
you.
good holiday.
You too. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 5670, State of Texas versus Absidy Akasha, AKA SHA Rosales. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Daniel Escobar for the state.
defense?
James Hunt.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 9:51 a.m. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
Not recently.
All right. Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement for Absidy Rosales?
Yes, Your Honor, I did. She is not in the.
And the court will note for the record that the court is in receipt of a second violation report from pretrial services, which states that the defendant has not had contact with her pretrial services officer. And it states that they have called all of the collateral references that were provided and no contact. All right, state
State would ask for a bond forfeiture.
defense.
I don't have an alternative for the court right now.
All right, thank you. Bond forfeiture will be granted. The defendant will be remanded without bond. If she makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hello, what is happening with this case?
Judge, we were trying to reach out to the officer, just to set up a meeting, so we would ask for a very short reset.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on David Gonzalez, if you'll give me a 3-week reset, please.
And actually, Judge, we've taken anything shorter than that as well. I think we're gonna work this out with either PTV or maybe even perhaps a misdemeanor, so.
Probably a week, Judge, just because.
All right,
just
Ms.
because-
Ferguson, if you'll recall this in 1 week, please, and it's David Gonzalez.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
You can do, I can do July 2nd.
All right, we'll come back on July 2nd.
Seconds?
Yes, thank you. Roland Miller, Counsel, you're on this side. No problem. All right, who's the prosecutor on Roland Miller? Have you conferred with the state?
I have, Your Honor, they're reviewing the case, see about making us an offer. We have received discovery. It's been uploaded. It is our first sitting.
And you said they made an offer or they did
They
not?
have not, they're reviewing it for.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Roland Miller, if you'll give me a 30-day reset and state at that time, you'll need to be prepared to make an offer.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll come back on July 25th.
Thank you, Your
Once you
Honor.
sign the reset form, you're excused. Thank you.